The ocean provides half of the oxygen that we breathe. It's the main source of protein for nearly half the global population, and it's home to 80% of all life on the planet.
It is the biggest ecosystem on Earth.
But the world's ocean is in deep trouble. Just 8% of its waters are marine protected areas, or MPAs.
There is a clear need for more MPAs, but also for better and stronger MPAs.
So what are the secrets to making these vital marine sanctuaries thrive?
There needs to be clear benefits for the local communities.
And what does success look like?
That's what we're trying to establish in the Beyond the Surface program.
These beautiful crystalline waters in the North Pacific have long been sacred to native Hawaiians. Today, this wilderness rightly makes up one of the largest ocean conservation areas on the planet. Called the Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument, it protects thousands of species of marine life, including this famously stunning network of corals.
70% of all the coral reefs in the United States exist within the Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument. There's an incredibly huge area of shallow coral reef. It's about protecting this very, very unique and vulnerable place.
For those running this marine protected area, one of the key priorities is protection against plastic pollution. This includes disentangling animals from lost or discarded fishing nets, which drift here from other parts of the ocean. These targeted cleanups of the reefs and beaches are essential to this MPA fulfilling its remit and purpose.
Over 30% of all the endangered Hawaiian monk seals that are alive today are alive as a result of disentanglement and other human intervention.
The fundamental job of an MPA is to preserve the ocean environment and biodiversity within its specified boundaries.
The way to do this is by adopting management measures within that site that protect those species or habitats from pressures from human activities so that those habitats and those species can thrive and fulfill their ecosystem function.
One of the threats MPAs can control effectively within their boundaries is the slippery problem of overfishing. MPAs can ban or regulate the excesses of industrial fishing, such as bottom trawling.
Bottom trawling is well known for being one of the fishing practices that has the highest levels of bycatch. It is also incredibly fuel intensive because you need a lot of fuel to drag this net through the ocean floor. And it doesn't even create that many jobs.
To reel in overfishing, many effective MPAs go a step further with so-called no-take zones. This means a total ban on fishing, as well as other extractive activities.
No-take zones have been found to be the most effective form of marine protection. They are particularly helpful in restoring and protecting biodiversity, and also in enhancing ecosystem resilience.
So what are the ingredients for ensuring a successful MPA? MPAs need sound management plans with clear goals and objectives. This all demands sustainable sources of funding from the time an MPA is first designed. However, even large resources won't get very far without another crucial ingredient: buy-in from local communities right from the start. Off the coast of Western Canada, it's an approach they've proudly adopted in the Guayhanas National Marine Conservation Area Reserve.
One of the important things that we would like to share with the world is the fact that we really need to work with local communities, the indigenous people, right from the start of a project to determine what needs to be done, how things should be implemented, and how the outcomes can best benefit the people that live in the place where we're working.
And simply consulting with local populations is not enough. Guayhanas is run as a cooperative partnership between the Canadian government and the indigenous Haida population. In 2018, the management took collective action to revive underwater kelp forests, which are vital to capturing carbon. Divers removed hundreds of thousands of sea urchins, which graze on kelp.
One of the most important things about Guayanas as a protected area is that it is cooperatively managed. So there is an archipelago management board that is made of half Haida representation and half Government of Canada representation, and that board makes all of the management decisions for Guayanas, and that is key to its success.
MPAs tend to thrive through partnerships. This includes forming networks with other MPAs in the same region and beyond. Take the iconic Galapagos Islands in Ecuador. The Galapagos Marine Reserve MPA is famous for protecting some of the most diverse and important marine life on the planet. And those responsible share knowledge with their counterparts at Cocos Island National Park in Costa Rica and other conservation areas in Latin America.
Biosecurity doesn't work if you just think of one place. You need to work together with other countries, other regions, other islands, other MPAs. The more you work together and the bigger you spread the biosecurity protocols, the safer everyone will be.
Behind strong partnerships, MPAs need real teeth in order to cut through. Although the world has over 18,000 MPAs, many are not enforced. They are mere paper parks where rules apply in theory, but not in practice.
Strong enforcement of MPAs, with clear penalties that fit the offence, from fines to licence revocation, even to imprisonment, are needed to ensure that the MPA retains its integrity, and in turn, retains its ability to ensure environmental protection.
It can be done at the local level by the community themselves. It can be done, especially in the case of offshore areas, by national authorities with the help and support of technologies which are increasingly available and allow us to see what is happening inside the area.
If the ingredients for a successful MPA are clear, how do you measure that success? It's an all-important question, and the Beyond the Surface program promises valuable answers.
Beyond the Surface program is the first attempt to provide a comprehensive assessment of MPAs around the world and a place for exchanging knowledge, exchanging information, exchanging the best ideas and best practices on how to improve ocean protection.
Beyond the Surface program, I think, is a vital program for building a wider understanding of marine protected areas in all of their complexity. That analysis will help others understand what it is that constitutes effectiveness in building MPAs.
It's vital to collect rigorous and regular data on the impacts of MPAs, not only on the environment, but just as importantly on the livelihoods of local communities. This means monitoring the numbers of visiting eco-tourists and the effect of no-take zones on fishermen's catches and incomes. No-take zones create the impression of being bad for fishing, but research has shown the opposite to be true, thanks to the so-called spillover effect.
Fish grow larger, more numerous, more abundant. They eventually spill over out of the area and can therefore replenish fish populations that are then essential to sustain fishing practices outside of the area.
In the Revillagigedo archipelago off the coast of Mexico, the tuna fishing industry was initially concerned about the creation of a no-take zone. Yet a study, published 5 years after the establishment of the Revillagigedo National Park, showed that the MPA successfully preserved both business and biodiversity.
So this is a very great example of how MPAs can be successful in protecting biodiversity and not harming the human economy.
Nevertheless, marine conservation is enduring stormy waters. There's a long way to go to reach its desired destination, the protection of 30% of the ocean by 2030. Much more work, resources, and dynamic thinking are needed.
It's critical for governments to have the ambition to scale up MPAs and to establish new ones.
I think there is going to be a strong obligation for investment from developed countries to developing countries.
I'm stubbornly optimistic that we will be able to overcome our challenges and that we will be able to restore our ocean to a healthy, abundant state.